Cherri, how did you become involved in the BP disaster?
That's a very long story, but to shorten it up, it was through we were out on a boat. I'm a journalist with the little town paper, and we pulled a pelican out of the water that was encased in oil and dying, and had to take a real hard look at what we're doing to the earth and my involvement in that. And so I decided to make some changes in my own life, and more importantly, become active and try to make the world a better place more than anything. I got 6 kids, and I felt like I owe it to them to protect the mother.
In
Yeah.
2011, you decided to walk to Washington, D.C. to bring awareness to this. Can you explain to me why you felt that was necessary?
Yeah, I want to win. We're at a pinnacle right now as far as the earth goes, as far as climate change, environmental justice, environmental action, period. And I was reading people who had won social issues such as Martin Luther King Jr. and Gandhi, and it's always come through sacrifice in one way or another. And I don't have much. I'm not a rich girl, but I do have my body, and I did have some time, so I decided maybe that was the way to raise awareness and get some people up in DC to understand that the disaster wasn't over. In fact, it was just beginning.
Can you talk a little bit about what may be going on in your community since the disaster?
My community's okay. I'm 60 miles up from the Gulf, so if any problems that we had was economic, and it's getting better. I can't say anything about that. But coastal communities all along the Gulf Coast and all the Gulf states continue in one way or another to be devastated health-wise, especially children. People had pre-existing conditions, cleanup workers, and older people. So that would include respiratory issues, bleeding from the nose and ears. We have chemical sensitivity, so now even other chemicals are causing people to be sicker than they would, or more sick than they would have been. Heart problems, neurological disorders. I mean, and I'm beginning to see an influx of cancers. I'm not sure if that's from Katrina, which we're 7 years out from, which was also an environmental disaster that most people don't know about, or if it's from the BP spill. All I know is that along the coast and near these extreme extraction sites, I know more people with cancer than without.
Can you talk a little bit about the fishing community? Do you know any of the fishermen that have been negatively impacted?
We have a few in our area, mostly like crab fishermen, and then I work a lot with fishing communities all along the Gulf Coast, and they are continuing to have economic problems, of course, because they're still not. Many of them haven't been paid correctly, or what they were worth, what they've lost, and then health issues have just been abundant in those communities, and unfortunately, we don't have the doctors available that understand how to treat these issues. So what ends up happening is they suffer in silence, and a lot of them, I really feel like, still to this point, because no one's recognized the problem, a lot of them don't even know why they're sick. They just know that they continue to be sick. We have kids that have been on antibiotics for almost 3 years straight, and it's getting worse instead of better. I would say, because I love you, for God's sake, don't allow them. They have no idea what they're doing, and more importantly, they have no idea how to clean the mess up once they get it going. I mean, it just starts gushing. For 80 some odd days, they ran around not knowing what to do and lying to the American people, lying to Congress. And then once it happened, they bought the science, they bought the health, they split the communities up by these divisive tactics. I mean, they don't have the handbook to stop this stuff or to clean it up, but they have the handbook to destroy your community and to keep this from the truth from getting out into the rest of the populace. That's for sure. Just say no. Whatever you have to do, use your bodies, use your boats, use whatever you have to do. Educate your public and get out there, and no deep water drilling. It is not safe.